Hello and welcome to the very first TremorsCast, the official and the only podcast dedicated to the upcoming book Seeking Perfection, the Unofficial Guide to Tremors. My name is Jonathan Melville. I'm a film journalist from the United Kingdom and I'm the author of the book, which will be the first to go behind the scenes of the Tremors franchise as it celebrates its 25th anniversary in 2015. Tremors was released in January 1990 and shown late night on BBC One here in the UK a few years later, which is where I first saw it. Something about the mix of horror, science fiction and comedy appealed to me, though I think it was a group of characters at the centre of the story that really made it so memorable. Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward as handyman Val and Earl, trying to do as little as possible to get by and becoming unwitting heroes. Michael Gross and Reba McEntire as Bert and Heather Gummer, survivalists expecting an attack from the air or by land who are taken surprise when the enemy comes from under the ground, and the people around them such as Walter Chang, Nancy and Mindy, Nestor and of course Melvin. They were kooky characters with enough brains to take on underground creatures, and with a smart script from S.S. Wilson and Brent Maddock, it was perfect for the young sci-fi fan. I've kept up with the sequels over the years: Tremors 2, Aftershocks, Tremors 3, Back to Perfection, Tremors 4, The Legend Begins, and they recorded the TV show from the Sci-Fi Channel a decade ago, but I've always been disappointed at the lack of merchandise available. No books, or comics, or magazines to discuss the franchise, apart from the occasional feature in titles like Cinefex or Starburst. In fact, as a result of that, I ended up writing my own article about the films for the UK's SFX magazine back in 2011, in which I interviewed co-writer S.S. Wilson and star Michael Gross. After the interview, I found I had lots of information left over, and it seemed a shame to waste it all. I could have put it online, on a blog, for example, but I'd been thinking of writing a book, and Tremors seemed like the ideal subject. So here I am, 3 years down the line. I've now spoken to over 50 of the people involved in the Tremors franchise, including writers and directors, producers, directors of photography, visual effects, designers and actors. And I've dug out newspaper and magazine features through the years and reviews going back to 1989, alongside various other pieces of information that should provide fans with an in-depth look at the creation of every film, TV episode, and plans for spin-offs and sequels through the years. It's a big job, but it's been a fun one. And over the next few months, I'll be getting all the information into the first draft, which I've started, thankfully, before refining it all in second drafts and maybe a third draft and maybe a fourth, I'm not sure yet. Interviewees keep replying to emails, which is great. They've got new information, and there are a few names I hope will be in there that still aren't 100% confirmed. I should say that neither Kevin Bacon nor Fred Ward have replied to my emails or tweets regarding interviews, but that doesn't mean they won't. It'd be fantastic to hear from them, hear their memories, because everybody has been very complimentary, and fingers crossed they have the time and they want to be part of it. Anyway, that's enough for this first podcast, very short podcast. In the second edition, I plan to share some of the audio from my first interview, the one I carried out with S.S. Wilson, where he discusses how he came up with the idea for Tremors. And then in subsequent episodes, I'll share interviews with other members of the cast and crew, just to give a flavour of what will be in the finished book. As for the publication, I'm aiming for December 2014, just ahead of the anniversary year, and I'll have more details on that in the coming months. In the meantime, you can read more about the book's progress over on the blog, which you can find at TremorsGuide.com, or on Twitter at TremorsGuide. So that's twitter.com/TremorsGuide, and on Facebook at facebook.com/TremorsGuide. You can also get in touch by email if you have any suggestions for ways to get in touch with Kevin Bacon, or just any general questions. You can get in touch at tremorsguide@gmail.com. Finally, I just wanted to mention the composer of the music for the podcast, Emilia Rovira Allegra. There'll be more about her in a future episode and on the blog. But that's all for now. Until next time, watch Tremors, enjoy it, and I'll speak to you soon.